ignition, the propellant.
What are you guys doing?
Oh, hello.
And about a minute away now from, all right, at least a minute away
James
from
is
the
here.
anticipated go-no-go poll here
Watch
for
the stream.
SLS.
SLS
The
is gonna
ICPS
launch
has
soon.
also undergone its
Yeah, I
cycling
have
of
to
the
get to bed.
LH2 valves as planned,
This is
and is now
history in the
into the
making.
planned cycling of the liquid oxygen
and I have
valves
to get to
as
bed. I'm
well.
fucking exhausted, so.
The expected launch time right now is 12:45.
Ooh, it's
And
Yeah,
other than that,
I'll
we're going to
probably
take a
be
pause on the
asleep
questions here for the poll coming
And
up here.
Jonathan, you're welcome.
You don't want
for
to
this because this is a very
witness
critical
history in the
moment for
making?
the team as they prepare to
I'd be
step
more interested if it
into
was a fiery
as
fireball.
they prepare to see if they are ready to step into
It could be a
trial.
giant fireball. They
James.
had a leak show up, and they had more RTV fall
but
off.
Still,
do you
but we
ever
still
see
don't
any
have
of
a
the shuttle
T0,
launches?
so as I said, that all that
Yeah.
means is that it
when
might
those
be real,
SRBs
it might be real
light
quick.
up, and especially because it's night out,
It's gonna just be. We'll see how they handle this here.
It's gonna turn like it's gonna anything in the area is
they
gonna
were
become
going
And
to-
we
if they
have
were-
no
Right.
sorry,
Yeah.
big update here. There are no constraints to launch. That is huge. There are no
Anyways, you're
constraints
welcome
to
for
launch,
the,
which means
response to your
we should get a go from the poll.
Jacob,
No
update.
launch
But if
constraints.
the team is
Yeah,
not
I'm
working
watching the
issues
stream.
and there are no constraints, this should make the poll
Oh,
fairly
James,
straightforward.
you want to know the reason why they haven't launched yet?
Right, and then just
Oh my
waiting
gosh,
here.
I don't even know what my heart rate
which
is
one
now.
of the
like-
seven?
But I mean, we're still.
No, so they actually-
we might not make 145
The reason they haven't launched now
but,
is 'cause they had a,
really this is the point where we're
Ethernet
just
router
watching
die.
the T-minus
Yeah.
clock. So when they
One
pick
of the
up the
routers
clock,
for
we
the
will be
range,
10 minutes from
died.
The rocket's
plan
fine.
liftoff. So
A router so that they could
obviously we gotta do the polls
initiate the
before
terminate sequence died. So they had you had to go send someone out there to get a new Ethernet router to put in there.
As you heard there, we are we might be minutes away from terminal count beginning. From them being at the clock
Imagine
again at T-minus 10 minutes.
entire
Again, we're anticipating
flight crippled by a
go-no-go
router
happening soon.
Yeah.
going
No.
out.
And that's going to tell
They
us
had-
if NASA teams are ready for this rocket
The ironic
fly.
thing is,
Send
like
it
earlier,
to the moon.
they had a leak
Choose
show up.
Xfinity for the failure of their rocket.
Yeah.
It's
And it has
so they've sent
almost
they've
by
dealt with stuff, but they
coincidence,
sent two guys out to the
it's
field to torque
49
down bolts
years
on the
and
rocket
11
because it
months,
was having a
almost
leak,
50 years
and then
exactly
immediately
since
after
Apollo
that a router
17 lifted
dies.
off for the
sounds like we're
Here we
gonna
go.
get audio here.
on the
Okay,
rocket.
silence.
Yeah. Hold up.
Copy all entity. At this time, I will
Leak on the
proceed
fuel
with my
system.
poll.
Okay.
And attention on 232, this is the launch director performing the final poll for launch. Verify no constraints and go for launch. EGS, Program Chief Engineer.
EGS Program Chief Engineer verifies
Did they
that
just say go
EGS,
for launch?
SLS, and Aurorium Program Chief Engineers have no constraints and are go for launch.
Copy, Greg. Thank you. EGS, Chief Safety Officer.
The EGS CSO verifies the SLS Orion and EGS CSOs have no constraints and are go for launch.
Copy, John. Thank you. Range weather.
Weather has no constraints and weather is go for launch.
Copy, LWO. And Mission Manager. And Mission Manager, Launch Director.
Launch Director, Mission Manager on
What's
232.
happening?
The mission management team has been polled. You have a go to proceed with terminal count and launch of Artemis 1.
I copy all. Thank you. And Entity, Launch Director.
Go ahead, Launch Director.
Yes, sir. On behalf of all the men and women across our great nation who have worked to bring this hardware together to make this day possible, and for the Artemis generation, this is for you. At this time, I give you a go to resume count and launch Artemis 1.
Copy, Launch Director, and thank you. All right, we do have a couple of steps to configure, and then we will be ready to resume the clock. CVSE, NTD. CVSE here. Initiate recording of Orion cameras at this time. In work. NTD. RSR here. Perform the booster ignition SNA arm rotation enable.
NDT, RSR, booster ignition SNA arm and rotation enable is complete.
And I copy. Thank you.
Did they
All
just
right,
say
and
what I
all
think they
personnel,
said?
we are going to
What?
resume the clock here momentarily.
Whore? Did they say whore? You're a whore? Oh, you're a whore.
What did they say, Jacob?
I think they just okayed it, the launch. I think it's all good for a launch. They're just in the process of starting up
the go for launch. They're currently configuring it to begin the
All right, and we have verified no cutouts at this time.
clock.
And all personnel, we are going to resume the clock. GLS, you can resume the clock on your mark.
Beginning to look
GLS copies. Countdown clock will resume on my mark.
Christmas.
3, 2, 1, mark. GLS mainline has
Let's
been
fucking
initiated.
go!
10
She's
minutes
counting
and counting.
down. 10 minutes to launch.
Let's go!
I hope they have the cameras on. Like, have you heard about the camera on the ESA module?
Show
No.
06,
They have the
47,
world's
44
most
is the liftoff
expensive
time.
selfie cam.
Affirm.
They taped a GoPro. Basically, they duct taped a GoPro to the end of one of the solar panels.
I think I heard the T0 was 06 47 44. Did you guys hear that? That's based on the pickup time. So something like that.
It's happening!
All right, about 9:15 to launch.
Something like that. Yes.
That would be in UTC, obvly.
9 minutes.
But
the
folks,
T clock's at
just
9 minutes.
1:47:44 a.m. EST. Yes.
There you go. Artemis
are
1
you
has
here to
entered
watch
terminal
the
count.
launch?
We are at less than T-minus 10 minutes away. T-minus
Did you
9
take
right
orange juice
now
with
to
you
the
to your
launch of Artemis
grandparents?
1. Do we want to walk through real quick what's going to be happening in these next 9 or so minutes?
Cool.
Yeah, I'm actually going to turn that over to Philip.
Hop in the
getting way too
stream.
emotional to speak. Well,
I think we're
going to go get ready to actually for the liftoff. So I'm going to hand it off to Philip.
I've got my can of celebratory Mountain Dew ready.
All right,
to go.
I'm not gonna.
Wait, is the time?
We definitely.
Do you have
we
one
only have
for
a
me,
few minutes
Jonathan?
here, but basically,
no, it's a major melon I bought at work.
There
Do
are
you
not
have any
too many
Mountain Dews?
Milestones or major milestones until T-minus 6 minutes, but at 6 minutes they'll start pressurizing the tanks.
Well, I need to go get one.
in the
Jonathan
core
won't take me
stage,
shopping.
and
Jacob, we're going
then they
tomorrow
will
night.
at 4 minutes the
right,
core stage
yeah.
auxiliary power units will start.
Hey, you want to know how much I
then
spent
they
last
will
time I went shopping?
basically they'll start they'll be pressurizing the core stage tanks. They'll go into this final hydrogen engine
$300
bleed
on
about 4
groceries
minutes
alone.
40 seconds.
Stop
and,
complaining.
Basically, when we get down to T-minus 6 minutes, you'll start to hear a lot more of these milestones called out, and I think really
Orange
we
juice,
just want
you
to
staring at the
we're
couch.
probably. I was planning on
So Jacob, also
just listening to the
Artemis
listening to the
supposedly
ground launch
has
sequencer
there's a bunch
milestones,
of cameras
and
on it.
hopefully it'll be fairly
So
self-explanatory.
one of the things after they went
if
go
there
for
are any
launch,
issues, we'll just listen
they started
and
recording
we'll
all the
we'll
cameras
try
on
and fill
board
in as we
recording.
can. But I think at this point,
I did know. I heard them say that.
my inclination
So no, there's a bunch of
is to
cameras
just
on
listen
the core
to
stage. I don't think
listen
there's
to
any
the,
on the boosters.
we should be hearing mostly just the ground launch sequencer
I do know they plan on taking
engineer
photos of the moon
calling
as they
out the
pass
milestones
by.
and
Yeah, but it's because I know
we
the
should probably
boosters they don't
hear
have any
the
cameras.
next one here at the
They
at
have
the
some
T-minus
of
6
the
minute mark.
white and
So I don't
black
know if we have
squares
any,
on them,
if we don't
so
have
that the
anything
cameras
here.
on the core stage
But,
can watch
in
them when
terms
they
of at
disconnect
the very end,
to make
the
observe
pre-lift
the
off water
ballistics-
will be released
ballistic
about
properties.
somewhere around 16 seconds before, T-minus 16
we're
seconds. The
7
hydrogen
minutes to
burn
go.
igniters, those will be
Oh,
fired
this
at
is-
12 seconds.
You
We'll get the
obviously
final
haven't
go
taken the
for
time to
engine
look at the
start at 10
memes and
seconds,
whatnot I
and the
sent you,
engines will
Jonathan.
start.
This is significantly
about
more
not really,
important,
no.
James.
Over 6 seconds before
This
liftoff.
is history in
so
the
at that
making.
point, things will be going so
No, I
fast.
think
that
the
we'll just be
meme
watching
can
it.
wait.
hamster one is. I think the
But
hamster
really,
one is
we'll
more
hear
important.
all these milestones here beginning at T-minus 6 minutes.
James, I have been waiting on this thing
And hopefully
since fucking
hopefully that's all we
2014.
hear, because that means things are going well.
This is
Yeah.
the modern day
So we're getting
equivalent
pretty
of
close here
Apollo
to the
11.
6-minute mark in the countdown.
And Philip, just to
there's
confirm,
the
I mean, this
NASA
is 6
worm.
minutes, 6 minutes. There's not like another hour of built-in
The
holds
what?
or anything, correct?
That's
Uh,
correct.
The
there are
NASA
no
worm,
planned
it's
holds
the
from
NASA
here on
logo
down.
on the side of the SRBs.
All
It's-
right.
it's like the
We're gonna
NASA
keep on
where it's just
listening
the
in.
one big
We're
squiggle.
listening to the launch loop as well, y'all, before we get...
stage tank pressurization.
There we go. So that's the
6
the
minutes.
6 minutes, and so that's what we're doing. I can.
Alright, so the tanks.
Let me just look here. So the next
tanks
the
pressurizing.
next milestone that we should hear would be at the T-minus 5 minute point, and that'll be go for FTS arm, so the flight termination system that will be armed for flight at 5 minutes. And so if I'll try and duck in some of these when we have a little space, but as we get closer to liftoff,
sure
we're obviously
OBS is recording.
The events are gonna the pace of events are gonna pick up.
Okay, yep, OBS is. We're good there.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired.
You can't.
You don't want to wait 5
Go
minutes.
for FTS arm.
Me and Orange Juice are laying down in bed, and we are both ready to go up.
Okay, the next milestone will be at 4 minutes 40 seconds here quickly. That'll be
not
go for.
Yet.
I mean, it's
know if he's
5
gonna
minutes
say
to
LH2,
watch
but go
the
for high
most
flow
powerful
bleed.
rocket ever fucking fly.
Go for LH2 high
James,
flow.
it's a fireball so big they'll be able to see it in
All right,
Savannah,
there we go.
Georgia.
And the next milestone will be at
Yes,
4 minutes,
and
which will
it's
be
on YouTube.
go for APU start.
You don't want to
on
see
the
it
fuel
live?
stage.
Flight termination system is
So
armed. We got
As long as
4.5
that's all we're
minutes.
hearing, things are going well.
If I watch it in the morning during my morning break, it'll be close enough to live that I can be satisfied.
Okay, if you're one of those people.
It's gonna be watching the same thing, just when I'm not
let's go
absolutely
for course
tired,
stage
and when I
APU
can
start.
somewhat comprehend everything a bit better.
Just slam them out and
And you can hear the APUs. A little bit of
All right.
chugging from the APUs. I don't know if we'll be able to see the exhaust that's way down at the bottom of the stage.
Alright, the APUs have started.
If we have a shot of the engines, we might be
Or
able
the
to
APUs
show a
again.
little bit of that. Let me see
Auxiliary
if
power
I can.
unit.
I just
That's
need to bring up
basically
the big
what
picture here.
provides initial power and hydraulics before the rocket comes online.
You see those jets coming out from in between the engines. It's cold gas APU exhaust, and those are basically running on a spin start helium system right now. We should be coming up to
Also,
purge sequence
out of
4.
curiosity,
That's the next GLS milestone.
Do you know what's
GLS,
holding the
go
rocket
for
down to the
purge
pad
sequence
right
4.
now?
Couple of bolts.
Gravity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there is nothing holding that thing to the pad. It's got if you
And
go
so the next
right underneath
the next
the,
milestone will
like,
be
top
at
of
2
the
minutes 30
ICPS.
seconds. They will
It's
start
got two
to
arms
do the
holding it from
final
toppling.
thrust
But-
vector control
so
gimbal
once-
check of the core stage
once the
engines, and you
RS-25
might even
start,
be able to hear the
only thing holding
APU
it to the
exhaust
pad
kind of
is the fact
spool
that they
up
don't
and
have
spool
enough
down
thrust.
as the engines are moved
The
around
thrust to weight
here.
ratio is less than 1.
Set a timer for 6 minutes and 43
We should see that on this camera
So once
relatively
the
easily.
SRBs
And there
start,
they go.
it's gonna fly. Oh, they're doing gimbling. Yeah. Did you see that, Jacob? Jacob, did you see that?
Go for upper stage to internal power.
They're doing gimbal tests.
So the core stage and the upper stage tanks are being pressurized for flight at this point.
I'm making this full
The
screen.
next milestone
There we
is
go.
at 1 minute 30 seconds. Is
the
go
live
for core
stream's,
stage to internal
chugging.
power, and that's a big milestone.
It's a little
At
choppy.
that, if we go past that point, we
Alright,
won't,
a
we
minute
won't
to
be
go
able
before
to.
the
We would
point
have
of
to
no
recycle
return.
if they have an issue.
GLS, go for core stage to internal power.
Everything's still go though, so
80 seconds.
I'm not sure if we're going to hear just a call out at 1 minute or not. We may just hear the GLS. If in that case, well, let's wait here.
1 minute.
There we go. And so the next milestone is the final handoff. It's go for ALS, which stands for autonomous launch sequence, and that's when the ground launch sequencer will hand off to the SLS flight computers. That'll be at 33 seconds.
Oh, my heart rate right now.
Same.
And once that happens, I will stop talking.
GLS is go for ALS.
Oh, we're past the point of no return.
Oh, shit.
What?
Oh, there we go. I was trying to close out a KSP and it just crashed.
15.
So I had to do a quick...
14, 13, 12, 11,
10.
10.
GLS is go.
There go the
fireworks started.
There go the H boys. Oh,
That's
here comes the water.
There's... Oh, they lit up.
Oh, holy shit! I told you! I told you, Jacob! Oh,
shit, that's a fireball!
I told you it would make it fucking daytime!
Oh god!
I told you! I wasn't fucking lying!
That was a lot brighter than I thought it was going to be.
Hearing good control on the roll from teams in Mission Control Houston. All good calls so far. Now 30 seconds into the flight of Artemis 1. First milestone will be for the vehicle to pass through max Q at about 1 minute and 9 seconds into launch. This is the greatest period of atmospheric force on the rocket.
I turned the volume of the stream up a little bit.
I saw that a little bit. Oh, it's beautiful.
SLS now traveling 607 miles per hour.
Holy shit!
You're looking at 8.8 million pounds of maximum thrust. Quiet here in the loops in Mission Control.
That is bright as all get out.
Throttling down ahead of passing through max Q.
It'd be cool if it in the daytime.
I know, but
the sound too, that is loud.
Yeah. Now 1 minute, 21 seconds into the flight, traveling at 1,420 miles per hour. The 4 core stage engines are back at maximum thrust.
The SRBs should start, they should disconnect.
The next major milestone will be for the solid rocket boosters to cut off and jettison about 2 minutes and 11 seconds into the flight, so about 30 seconds from
That's
now.
1 second off.
Again, quiet here in Mission Control Houston as teams continue monitoring the flight of Artemis 1. We're now 16 miles downrange from the launch pad at Kennedy Space Center, traveling over 2,800 miles per hour.
That was a camera.
Was it? Yeah, but was it on the rocket?
Yep. I believe that's the SRB.
Standing by for solid rocket booster jettison and shortly thereafter.
SRBs are sputter. No, are they sputter? Can't tell if...
There they go.
Oh, there they go. There. Oh.
Confirmation that the solid rocket boosters have separated these 177-foot boosters.
The main one, yeah.
Now the core stage continues to power the flight of Orion, all 4 RS-25 engines firing, traveling over 3,400 miles per hour, 46 miles downrange.
Goodbye, SRBs.
Yep.
It's nice knowing.
2 minutes and 36 seconds into the flight. Hearing nominal calls here in Mission Control Houston. We've still got 4 good engines on the core stage. Next up, we'll be looking for the service module fairing to separate. This is 3 15 by 15 foot fairing panels, providing structural support, protecting the service module. Those will separate at about 3 minutes and 11 seconds into flight, and very shortly thereafter will be followed by the launch abort system separation.
Oh, they're ditching launch abort.
Just over 3 minutes into the flight of Artemis 1, now traveling over 4,060 miles per hour, 83 miles downrange. We just had confirmation that the service module fairing has separated.
Let's go.
And that the launch abort system pyros have fired, separating those from Orion as well. For future crew members...
Why'd the cutoff stop?
I don't
know.
know.
The call out?
I don't know.
We just heard the call for 3 engine press, meaning if SLS were to lose an engine at this point in the mission, we could still achieve a nominal mission. We would just have an extended main engine cutoff time. However, we still have 4 good engines, all at maximum thrust right now, powering the first flight of Artemis at 5,200 miles per hour, 148 miles downrange.
That is
fast.
Fucking fast.
I think that might be hypersonic.
Could be. What's Mach... Hypersonic's Mach 7, right?
Yeah. It's about 1,500
We're
meters
4
per
minutes and
second.
16 seconds into the flight of Artemis 1.
Well, hypersonic is
So
about
far, we've
5.
had a clean ascent. We saw those solid rocket boosters jettison about 2 minutes and 11 seconds after liftoff. Shortly after, we had the service module panels, fairings separate, as well as the launch abort system. The launch abort system was inert for this flight, except to perform this separation.
Wow, you were early. That means you only took like 3 minutes.
Those 4 core stages will continue to fire and power the flight of Artemis 1, now traveling over 6,800 miles per hour, 229 miles downrange.
Like, genuinely.
Booster flight controller reports that the engines are looking good.
All natural. Who's your mini bag?
Oh, that, yeah. It would be so much cooler.
Our core stage main engine cutoff time is about 8 minutes and 3 seconds. We are now at 5 minutes and 11 seconds into the flight, 7,656 miles per hour.
235.
Jonathan.
What?
The
Again,
main NASA
4 good
thing.
core stage engines, those 4
700,006
RS-25
people
engines.
watching.
Holy shit.
There are
The last
a lot
time those
of
core stage
fucking
engines
people
flew, they were
watching
taking
this.
space shuttles to orbit, and now with upgraded capabilities, they're launching the future of human spaceflight.
Honestly, I'm curious how many people are watching this stream. I'll check afterward. Actually, no, I can pull it up on my phone.
5 minutes, 42 seconds into the
'Cause I
mission.
know
We are now
earlier when I was
traveling
watching the stuff, there were
8,800 miles per
there were
hour,
11,000
345
people
miles
watching.
downrange from the launch pad at Kennedy Space Center. Again, we are anticipating core stage main engine cutoff at about 8 minutes and 3
watching.
seconds. And about 10 seconds later, we'll see core stage separation, at which point Orion and the interim cryogenic propulsion stage will be flying free. Now traveling over 10,000 miles per hour, 6 minutes and 15 seconds into the flight of Artemis 1, 427 miles downrange. Quiet here on the loops in Mission Control Houston.
the other big
Teams
one?
continue to monitor this
Everyday
first flight.
astronaut. How many people does he have? He's got 67,000.
It's not bad.
Is that something that's near 900,000 people?
About a minute and a half now until that core stage main engine cutoff time. Our 4 core stage engines continue to fire maximum
And
thrust.
honestly, there's probably more because I'm watching it now, and some of the viewership has died down a bit.
Yeah. Well, the
So
NASA
honestly,
one, there's probably people from other countries as well.
yeah, but I'm
Coming up on 7 minutes since launch today, now traveling over
Actually, yeah,
12,800 miles per hour,
There's
563
also all the
miles
people-
downrange. Again, still quiet here in Mission Control Houston.
there's all the people who are watching it live.
Yeah.
There's got to be a decent amount of
As we
people who
prepare
just
for
have their
main engine
launchers
cutoff,
up.
the 4 RS-25 engines are beginning to throttle down.
The other thing too is NASA has TVs. They should be showing this on their TV station. So there
Yeah.
are probably people watching that as well.
Yeah, I a million people at least. That
30 seconds now until core
that's a
stage main
lot of
engine
fucking
cutoff.
people.
All 4 engines continue to throttle down.
30 seconds to Miko.
Now 7 minutes 45 seconds into the flight, traveling over 16,000 miles per hour.
Damn.
Continuing to hear good calls here in Mission Control Houston. We're standing by for core stage main engine cutoff.
Oh,
Oh,
holy
they gotta-
shit. Oh, that's cool. That is cool.
Is that the moon?
Yeah, that's the
And
moon.
we have confirmation of core stage main engine cutoff. Orion,
Where's that?
and it's now in Earth's orbit. The
Is
flight
that from
dynamics
the-
officer reports that we have a nominal main engine cutoff. And we just heard the call for core stage separation. That means Orion and the interim cryogenic propulsion stage are now flying free from the core stage of the Space Launch System. The next milestone will be solar array deploy approximately 18 minutes after liftoff. But before Orion stretches its wings, let's check back in with our friends at Kennedy Space Center and hear all about what it was like to hear the rocket roar off the launch pad. Megan and Kayla, I've got to hear all about it.
I want to see the solar panels deployed because they're gonna show the camera feed.
Well, I don't think we're Megan and Kayla here, but they do have friends at Kennedy
25s are
Space
gone.
Center. Let's see if we can't get Hayden
Yeah.
and Philip back into commentary.
So
They served us
Is
well.
everybody still here?
Those should
I am.
splash down over the Pacific.
That was
The
nice.
Admittedly a
Pacific?
miss, but
Yeah.
thank God.
They're not crashing down over the Atlantic?
No. You're going
so
too
yeah,
fast.
folks.
So they're
Orion
just
is on
gonna
its way to
hurtle
the moon.
all the way over to Europe
Artemis
and
1
just
is
splash.
on its way to the moon.
Yeah.
As you saw there,
Ayo.
SLS, Space Launch System.